African Union Communications, Early Warning, and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of May 29, 2026. From May 23rd to the 29th, in response to the terrorist attacks launched by Ukraine against civilian facilities on the territory of the Russian Federation, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out a massive and 5-group strikes with precision air, sea, ground-launched armament, and attack unmanned aerial vehicles. As a result, the Ukrainian defense industry, fuel power, transport, and port infrastructure facilities used by the armed forces of Ukraine, airbases, assembly facilities, places where unmanned aerial vehicles are stored and launched, as well as temporary deployment areas of Ukrainian armed forces and foreign mercenaries were hit. From the 23rd to the 29th of May, as a result of resolute actions of the North Group of Forces units, control has been established over Granov, Novovasilevka in the Kharkov region, Zapselye, and Ryasnoye in the Sumy region. Over the past 24 hours, Budarki and Karaichnoye in the Kharkov region have been liberated. 3 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, an airmobile brigade, an air assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade were hit. In total, the enemy lost more than 1,245 troops, 10 armored fighting vehicles, 110 motor vehicles, 7 field artillery guns, and 4 electronic warfare stations in the area of responsibility of the North Group of Forces. The West Group of Forces continued active offensive operations. 3 mechanized brigades, 2 assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, and a territorial defense brigade were hit during the week. The Armed Forces of Ukraine losses in this direction amounted to more than 1,240 troops, a tank, 37 armored fighting vehicles, 128 motor vehicles, 9 field artillery guns, and 5 electronic warfare stations. Past week, units of the South Group of Forces improved the tactical situation. 6 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, an airmobile brigade, a mountain assault brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade were hit. In total, in the area of responsibility of the South Group of Forces, the enemy has lost more than 950 troops, 3 tanks, 26 armored fighting vehicles, 111 motor vehicles, 17 field artillery guns, 3 Grad MLRS vehicles, and 2 electronic warfare stations. Over the past day, units of the Center Group of Forces liberated Novopodgorodnoye in the Dnepropetrovsk region. In a week, strikes were delivered at formations of 4 mechanized brigades, an infantry brigade, a Jaeger brigade, an airmobile brigade, an assault brigade, 2 air assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, and 4 National Guard brigades. During the week, the enemy losses in this direction amounted to more than 2,250 troops, a tank, 22 armored fighting vehicles, 58 motor vehicles, and 15 field artillery guns. 7 electronic warfare stations were neutralized. As a result of active offensive operations, the East Group of Forces liberated Vozdviyzhevka in the Zaporozhye region and Dobropasovo in the Dnepropetrovsk region. Over the past 24 hours, Lesnoye in Dnepropetrovsk region has been liberated. Strikes were delivered at manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades, 2 assault brigades, 4 air assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 1 Marine brigade, and 1 territorial defense brigade. The Armed Forces of Ukraine losses in the area of responsibility of the East Group of Forces amounted to over 1,970 troops, 16 armored fighting vehicles, 49 motor vehicles, and 4 field artillery guns. The Dnepr Group of Forces inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades, a mountain assault brigade, an unmanned systems brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 1 Marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. Over the past week, the enemy has lost more than 375 troops, 5 armored fighting vehicles, 70 motor vehicles, 3 field artillery guns, and 18 electronic warfare stations. Air defense systems shot down 44 guided aerial bombs, 3 Storm Shadow-made air-to-surface missiles, 3 French-made SCALP air-to-air guided missiles, 23 US-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, and 2,628 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles.
In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 671 aircraft, 284 helicopters, 153,332 unmanned aerial vehicles, 661 anti-aircraft missile systems, 29,538 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,727 MLRS combat vehicles, 35,121 field artillery guns and mortars, 62,799 units of support military vehicles.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.